I recently read a quote that I found very descriptive of the role of a presiding officer, and it goes as follows: that the man who wants to lead the orchestra must first turn his back on the crowd. Similarly, I will always look first inside this chamber to each of you for guidance and direction. In exchange, I ask that you help me serve you. I ask that you help me empower you. I ask that you help me make you successful so that your constituents will be successful. Only by working together can we be effective and efficient and do the job the people of Florida expect us to do. There's a lot to work on, focus on in the short term and in the long term. And, we've already got into committee hearings and we are moving into session, which will be here before we know it. Under the leadership of President Negron and Speaker Corcoran, we will move forward. And this is where our focus should be right now. My father, who you heard, you didn't know, was a golf pro. He used to say, remember to play the hole you're on. And that's what we should do. And the hole we're on, in short, senators, is one in which a massive storm has come through the state, causing us to re-examine, revisit, reanalyze the state and its operations, beginning with our infrastructure. As the third largest state in the union, we should have commensurate stability with our roadways, our waterways, our utilities, our hubs. And while much of the short term will be about addressing what we know is on the plate in front of us, reparations, funding, what I would like us to focus on the long term are new ideas, better ways to do things, innovation to prepare us to move boldly and strongly into the next century. Innovation to stand out as a leader in how we incorporate and how we serve the millions that come to visit us and all those that come to stay with us, including our friends from Puerto Rico. Yet innovation is not going to come from us directly in government. It will only exist if we continue to provide opportunity and freedom to all Floridians, opening doors to brilliant minds, hard workers, creators who stay here or come here because Florida is an environment for success. A welcoming state that empowers families to make choices that are best for them in education, healthcare. A state with a higher education system, including the state college system, that provides the very best to Floridians and attracts the very best. Mr. President, thank you for your tremendous leadership in this regard. A state with a regulatory system that stops at what is necessary and doesn't choke business with red tape and unnecessary administrative obstacles. A state that recognizes the world we live in today and that absolutely prioritizes security at all levels, from our ports to our buildings, to our schools, to our neighborhoods, to our homes, and in our cyberspace. A state that values its workforce and their quality of life, not just where they live, but how they live. A state that respects its natural resources, and a state with an economy that is strong because we are willing to make the tough and disciplined decisions. And believe me, members, we will have some very difficult decisions to make in the years to come. We've all seen the budget forecast. We will have to absolutely prioritize what is necessary and disregard what is waste. But at the same time, I hope that we remember, as President Abraham Lincoln so eloquently put it, those who can't do for themselves or do well for themselves. Children, persons with unique abilities, the infirm, and the elderly. And while we open new economic doors, let us not forget those who have powered this state and its economy from the beginning. And frankly, we have a crisis in our agriculture industry. Citrus greening has weakened and reduced production to less than half where it was 10 years ago. And while we've made progress, there is still more to do. So I encourage us to continue to look for new advances, focus on research and development, and support in general for our agriculture community. Agriculture is the backbone of our state, and impacts to farm communities mean impacts to rural communities, resulting in exodus and loss of local economies. We cannot just live off the perimeter of our state, but must work together to sustain the heartland. And we have a continuing battle with opioids. And again, we have made progress, and it's getting a lot of attention. I'm encouraged by that. But we cannot stop. As Senator Garcia pointed out 2 weeks ago in committee, everybody is impacted by this plague, whether it be the impacts to the economy or the healthcare system that we all feel, or the severe pain of loss that so many families have to endure because of this problem. Senators, we have an obligation to solve it. Finally, there is much division in the world today. There is. In our country, and even in our state. We have all seen some terrible ugliness, yet at the same time, we see acts of kindness, compassion, humanity, and community. Senators, we can do our part as leaders of this state to make things better at a human level. Let us remember as we work together going forward that we can be the example of civility, openness, and respectful discourse. Many times we say in this chamber, don't fear the debate. True, let's not. But let's not make the debate about fear, about gamesmanship, or about pettiness. As much as anything that we can do here together, we can show the 20+ million people that we represent and those that watch us from around the nation and around the world that there is still honor in public service. You know, we have our work cut out for us, and it's going to take our energy and our commitment. But I can tell you this, and you need to know this. I am very optimistic. I am optimistic because I have confidence in all of you, and I have faith in the great state of Florida. It's such a phenomenal state, so fascinating and so diverse. From Key West, Jacksonville, from Calle Ocho to International Drive, from the Heartland to the Panhandle, from the Treasure Coast to Tampa Bay. Every region of our state is exploding with potential. We have an amazing history from which to draw guidance, wonderful people to inspire us, and an endless palette to create the future. There are reasons why we are the world destination that we are. There are reasons why we have one of the largest economies on the planet. Let us build upon those reasons, and let us do it together as a team. Let us share ideas, learn from each other, and most importantly, listen to each other. And I promise you that I will listen to each and every one of you, not just with my ears or my mind, but with my heart. Thank you all.